Hello, my name is Josh Ryan Collins. I'm one of the founders and a director of the Brixton Pound. It was founded in 2009, September, and here is one. It's very pretty. Here's a 10, and here's a 5. We started because we came from the Transition Town in Brixton. Transition Towns is a grassroots charity that tries to relocalize production and consumption to make us less dependent on oil for production of the things we need, and tries to create a more cooperative form of society. And also to avoid climate change, to make our towns more resilient to economic shocks from outside, to maintain the diversity of our high streets, to keep the small businesses going so we don't become clone towns with just big supermarkets. So for all of these reasons, we decided to launch the currency to try and support small businesses. So the currency can only be used if you are an independent business, not a business with shareholders in the city or multinationals. And the idea is to create a cooperative, mutually beneficial network of businesses to support each other. And the money cannot leave Brixton; it circulates within Brixton. So if you spend a Brixton pound in a shop, you know that it's benefiting the whole community, the business community, and that it does not leak out of the community. So you know it creates a multiplier effect. You can't put Brixton pounds in the bank. It's interest-free money. It's for money as a means of exchange, not a store of value. And at the moment we have 180 businesses that use the Brixton pound, that accept it. And we have 30,000 Brixton pounds in circulation. And one Brixton pound is the same as £1 sterling. When we launched, we had a lot of international and national and local media coverage. BBC, Channel 4, Le Monde, a lot of interest. So a lot of people in Brixton discovered the currency. We have 1,000 people in a membership club that receives a newsletter every month from our manager about the latest developments, the new businesses that join the Brixton Pound. If a shop joins the Brixton Pound, they have a sticker in the window with Brixton Pound, so everybody can see. We also have a local place where an office in Brixton, and we try to get stories in the newspapers, the local newspaper especially. We have support from the council, the municipality, and they also help us with promotion. London is a metropolitan city of 7 million people. One problem is that people don't have much time. They're very busy, and so if you want a Brixton pound, you have to go to the cash machine to buy sterling. Then you buy Brixton pounds in another place. Then you have to spend Brixton pounds in the shop. You can't use your credit card, so maybe you just buy something small. We would prefer you can buy bigger things. And so we need to get the circulation to be greater, and to make the transaction costs smaller, the time that it is involved in using it. That is a challenge. Sometimes the businesses, they don't like to have a lot of cash in their tills, in their shops, because it's a bit of security risk. So for these reasons, we look to make this scheme electronic in the next phase, which we hope to do in the autumn of this year. Yeah, we got some subsidies from the local authority, Lambeth Council, and we got some money from some of the businesses who support the scheme. The scheme is also supported by the New Economics Foundation, which is a think tank based in the same area, which I work for as well. And New Economics Foundation also supported the scheme with some small money, but also providing some intellectual and policy support through myself and some other people. So yeah, that's how we got some small amount of money to print these and to have a big event to launch, and then to employ a project manager to oversee the scheme. But it's very small. I think what we will do first is try to spread across the municipality. It's called Lambeth. And then maybe after that, in some years, we look at making it a broader currency in London. There were some interesting options in London with the Oyster card, which we use for public transport, for example. But yeah, at the moment we keep it small and take small steps, because if you take too big a step and it doesn't work, then you lose it all. I would do as much research and engagement with stakeholders, with the community you're working with, to try to find out what really their needs are, what is really missing in the community. So if it's a business currency, talk to the businesses, get them involved in creating the currency. Don't push it on them, but involve them from the beginning. If it's a social currency for time banking, or that tries to support people who have spare capacity, then involve those people from the beginning. Be very careful before you launch that you have that engagement from people on the ground. What we try to do with Brixton is to involve the local authority, the municipality, the local credit union, so that we have some institutional capacity to build the system, so that the currency supports existing networks and existing funding streams, which makes it more sustainable, financially sustainable in the long term. If you try to do it just on your own, it's very hard. Maybe it will work, but it's better to try and work with institutional partners that broadly support your goals. If none of these partners support your goals, then maybe it's not such a good idea. The Brixton Pound is treated in the same way as a voucher. So it's taxed in exactly the same way as sterling. So far we have no issues with taxation. If we make it electronic, maybe things will be a little bit more complicated, and we do some research in this legal and compliance area to try to establish what the key issues are. But this is an experiment, and ultimately you don't know whether something is legal or illegal if you do something new until you do it, and then you see what the Financial Services Authority or the Treasury says. So I don't think we should let that hold us back. We should always be pushing the boundaries, pushing the frontiers. And if the government says, no, what you're doing is wrong or is taxable, then we know we've succeeded, because we've got something that's big enough to challenge the system. So that's how I think about these issues. Because as far as I know, this is the biggest complementary currency conference ever. And it's a wonderful opportunity to meet people from all over the world who are working on similar kinds of projects. Sometimes when you do this, you feel very lonely, and it's very hard. And if you know there's people in Brazil and Argentina and in Japan and in Europe, trying the same thing, then it makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel like you're not alone in this adventure. And we can learn a lot from talking to each other. We have translation at this conference, which is fantastic. And so yeah, it's very interesting for me. We can make connections and build an international network of practitioners and researchers to take us forward together.